Hello, LegendAqua here for my favorite animes of fall 2021. So, first off, Merry Christmas, because it's Christmas by the time I'm posting this video, and let's start off with the fact I don't watch I don't watch this much from the fall season, but well, we'll see by this tier list. So, first up is one I cannot put in. Well, technically I can, because it's in the I don't know section, because it's Shumatsu no Harum, and only 2 episodes came out before it got delayed, I believe. And let's just say that Shumatsu no Harum is going to be... It's gonna be something, especially for those cultured people, me as well. All I'm going to say is that I have read the manga to a certain point. I can't remember how far I got up to, but this is this is probably the only anime that I actually have watched to that have read to a certain point, but it got delayed to, like, I don't know, next season or the season after. But I can't really say much, because there's going to be a lot of people say it's a picky anime to, you know, pick up, considering the climate we are in today and everything. But it's going to be an I don't know section, because it only 2 episodes have come out. That is as much as I'm going to say about this anime. Next up is Komi San, and that is an easy S, because okay, so because of Netflix's, you know, binging style that I'm not used to, Komi San technically for me was the last anime that I actually second to last anime that I watched this season, because I believe I binge watched the last couple of episodes yesterday for me. Yeah, I was that late. But for what I'll say about the anime, it is very good. I can relate to Komi San a lot. It was a really good comedy series as well. Mainly for the fact that the main female character doesn't say much, and yet you could relate to her a lot, especially with the social anxiety and everything. And it's pretty much a waifu who pretty much doesn't talk that much, and when she does, it's moe as hell. Next up is Todoroki Destiny. So, I believe this is going to be based off a mobile game or a video game that's going to be coming out. And it's musically themed. I thought it was an original, but it's not. But for what it gave us, it pretty much turned to like a road trip. It pretty much turned to like a road trip anime that was just focusing on, well, Tax, one of the main characters, and Destiny. And it was pretty much trying to, I don't know. The best way I can summarize it is pretty much like they are going on a road trip journey to save themselves, essentially. And along the way, they find out what caused them to be in the situation, because it's the apocalyptic situation where all these monsters, they get pissed off by music and they kill people who are musicians or just even play a bit of music. And it's set in America. That is the best way I can explain it. It was still decent. That's what it's going to be. Next up is Mieruko-chan, and that is an easy S. First off is that I heard of Mirakuchan from all my Discord members. I watched the trailer. I got kind of interested because it's done by Passione, who done the Higurashi recontinuation anime series. And for what the horror section did, it's very good. It's slightly itchy, but at the same time, the characters are very interesting and memorable, not to mention all the twists that this anime gave us. It pretty much elevated to, like, S status for me, because it does everything so right, and not to mention it's essentially... The theming is essentially don't judge somebody just by their appearances, and considering that the main character can see ghosts, yeah, it mixes both the horror, slice of life, and comedy aspects all into one, with some very interesting characters, especially the main character. So definitely, not to mention, in my opinion, Mieruko-chan and Komi San. Oh, considering who my favorite waifu from those two would be, oh, I'll get back to you on that one. But for the most part, Mirakuchan is definitely an S rank. If you like horror, if you like comedy, if you like slice of life, watch it. Excuse me. Next up is the Assassin Isekai anime, and only reason I actually started watching this is because one, Yui Ninomiya sang the opening for this anime. And if you don't know who Yui Ninomiya is that she is Maki no Yagumi's voice actor from Idolmaster. You can kind of see why I picked up this anime. It does have an interesting premise for what it is. It's essentially an assassin from our real world gets killed and then gets reincarnated with a perk in which the goddess who does the reincarnation thing says that, oh, you need to kill the hero before he gets too power hungry to the point he destroys the world. But like, there's a certain margin you have to deal with that. But the biggest thing is that the entire hero plot doesn't come up to like the last episode, and we just pretty much get to see the assassin who's now in a new body in a new world, and it has to pretty much cope with it. He has slightly OP stuff going around him, but it does feel a little bit leveled. The Harum part does come in a little bit later, but in the Harum aspects, it's not that bad. Isekai aspect, it's not that bad. Towards the major plot lines and everything, I feel like it's heading to a second season. If it does get the green light, it's entirely possible. But for the most part, it was actually a decent isekai. I can see what some of the people are saying about this being like another, like generic isekai. But for me, it's one of those popcorn, shut your brain off kind of isekais. And it was actually kind of decent, for I'll say. And as much as like Yui Ninomiya wasn't exactly in it, she just sang the opening. It was okay. I'm not gonna say it was like completely not worth watching it. It was decent for what it was, and I hope it gets a second season. Speaking of, Komi actually was announced for the second season as well, so I'm actually happy with that. I do hope Mieruko-chan actually gets a second season. Alright, next up is Selection Project, the only idol anime I've watched, and it's also a B, oddly enough. For what Selection Project gave us, it is like pretty much, how do I say this, idol elimination, but let's just say that they get a little bit... Well, it's kind of the usual idol anime at first, in which, you know, there's a chance that the idols gets eliminated and everything, but instead we get to see their backstories and what they went through and everything, and as to why they want to be idols and everything. But then it gets into this entire drama between the main two characters, and then, yeah, you can kind of see where this is going. I did get blindsided, however. Mainly because I I caught into this red herring, and they bluffed me hard. But it's typical. But I'll say that it was still decent. It wasn't horrible. Next up is Kaginado, which is essentially all of Keyworks' anime filtered through Isekai Quartet. This is essentially Keyworks' version of Isekai Quartet, where they bring in all of their anime series and puts them in a school, and they do comedic crazy things, and it's exactly what you expect. And it was still comedically funny, even though technically I haven't watched Little Busters, so a lot of this stuff that they went through, I don't know some of the comedy bits, but for the most part I know all of Keyworks' other stuff that's in Kaginado. It was still decent. It's what you expect of essentially Keyworks anime series merged with Isekai Quartet's comedy and chibi-ness and everything. Alright. Next up is Shuri Aquatope, which is actually the anime that's finishing this season, sorry. And it was actually pretty good. We switched from Fuka to Kukuru a lot, and I actually like that dynamic change, but it did give us a definitive ending for like an original IP and everything, and PA works as like slice of life, the animation, the plot and everything. It might have been slice of life, but for all accounts, I'll say that it was still a very good anime, and I'm actually glad I actually stuck all the way through. It's the characters, it's the animation. It was very good. I'll definitely give it an A. And finally, Jojo. Only 12 episodes is out. We got a Netflix problem dilemma here, but I did binge watch it ages ago. I do have a few problems with it, namely the CGI, but it's not that bad. I do feel like it was kind of rushing because, again, it's Netflix, and Netflix's schedule doesn't line up with a lot of anime productions and everything, but the story and the plot is still very interesting because we look at Jotaro's daughter, who is Jolene, and she is sent to prison, and I'm gonna leave it there, otherwise I'm going to spoilers. But David Productions still did very good, even though the CGI is very shoddy at times. For now, for the first third of JoJo's Stone Ocean, I'm going to give it an A. For now, we will see what happens in the later seasons, whenever more of Stone Ocean is going to come out. So, yeah. That is my tier list, and who's my waifu of the season though? Komi San or Mirakuchan? Can it just be both? I like both of them. I can't decide. So yeah, that is my tier list for fall 2021. I do hope that next season, I know I keep on saying this, I do hope that next season I do watch more, but considering how swamped I am with a lot of mobile game stuff and everything, this will still have to do. It's still decent, like half my output from ages back, but still, it's still decent. So yeah, comment below on what you think about my tier list. And actually comment below your favorite animes for fall 2021 and let me know. With that, LA out.